Hey Facebook! Woo! Happy Friday evening. Tonight's a special class. We're going to be doing a 90-minute class, and it's going to be flow. There will be opportunities to pick things up or tone things down depending what you need tonight. It's going to be a good all-around, full-body 90-minute flow. I'm using a Tada rug back here. It's a giant oversized yoga mat. I love it. It's grippy. It's fantastic. They're on sale right now. If you have questions about them, give me a shout. You can direct message me and I'll give you all the details on them. It's called a Tada rug. You can also Google it. And you get 10% off with the code Phoebe. So have a glass of water nearby or a water bottle because it's going to be 90 minutes. It's good to stay hydrated. I can't play music on here, but you can totally put your favorite playlist on or follow me on Spotify for some of my favorite yoga playlists. And remember, this is your practice. So if you want to pick something up or tone something down, please take care of you first and foremost. I love seeing that when you're taking care of yourself. All right, we are going to get started coming onto your mat. Let's get this yoga Friday night flow going. At least it's Friday night for me. I don't know what day of the week it is for you. Depends where you are in the world. All right, we're going to start today in a child's pose. The knee is going wide, big toes coming together. Reach your arms out long and bring your forehead to the mat. Nose is lifted up and off. Hips are pressing onto heels. Start to breathe into your lower back. And let these first couple minutes that we start class be a time to be fully present. We often take thousands of breaths a day, and thousands of them go unnoticed. So fully notice these next few. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Another like that. Inhale through the nose. And let it go. Starting to move with that breath. Inhale through the nose. Shift forward. Move through a tabletop. Lower your hips down to the ground and pick up your feet towards the sky. Draw your shoulders back. Then exhale, press back. Child's pose. Move through this with your breath. Inhaling to roll forward and up. Exhaling to roll back. The breath starts the movement. The body follows. And this is early on in your practice. Don't force anything. Let's let the breath be the most important part. Take one more. This time, stay in your child's pose. Inhale and exhale completely. Work your hands to the left. Come into a side bend. Head stays on the ground. Hips stay on the heels. Torso leans towards the right. Walk your hands back through center and to the other direction. Really draw your left hip back and down. Take a big breath into your left ribs. Walk your hands back through center. Engage the abdomen to rise up, tabletop position. Center your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders. And begin some cats and cows. Inhale, lifting heart and tailbone. Exhale, rounding. Return back to a neutral spine. Add in side bends. So it's like you're checking out an imaginary tail back there, bending your torso side to side. Arms are pressing the floor away. Heart is reaching forward, and shoulder blades are drawing away from one another. And then combine cat and cow in those side bends. So you're going to take any kind of motions, rounding, bowing, bending with the spine. That feel good. Sit back onto your heels. Drop your right hand behind you. Swing your left arm over your chest. Reach a big stretch. Exhale, drop your left hand back down. Move through center. Switch sides. Left hand behind you. Right arm sweeps across. Lift your chest up. Ground your sits bones down. Exhale, swing back to a seated position. Interlace your hands. Press the knuckles up to the sky, the palms to the sky. Thumb side higher. Armpits hug down to hips as the roof of your mouth lifts. Forehead softens. Spread your fingers wide. Drop your right hand down, side bend towards your right. Left arm goes up and over. Continue moving through side bends. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Moving at the speed of your breath rather than breathing at the speed of your movements. Let these motions become circles. So go to the left and take a forward fold, tucking chin to chest, hands coming to your thighs, and switch to the other side bend. Move through that again, rounding your back like cat pose. Finding the side bend, good. Really warming up the spine for our practice today. Warming up the shoulders. Return to center, roll up to seated. Shift forward and lie down on your belly. Stretch your legs back behind you. Prop yourself up on your forearms. Stretch long through the big toe side of your foot, through your inner ankles. Pressing the tops of your feet down. Press your pubic bone down into the floor. Drop the shoulders. Reach the heart forward as your ribs draw in. Big breath in and out. One more like that. Breathe in. Really press the pubic bone down and out. Good. Roll onto your belly. Bring the right arm out to the side and just roll onto the right side. Bring the left leg up like a frog leg, or even kicking it back behind you. Stay strong through the arms and the legs. Just take one breath. And exhale, roll back through center, and we'll take that on the other side. So left arm comes out, roll over to the left. Head hangs heavy. Just take that once more, both sides. Pressing your arm actively down into the ground, only going so far as is comfortable. Return to your belly. Walk your hands further away from you and out to the side slightly. Pubic bone presses down. Stretch long through the inner legs. To inhale, lift your face, look up, lift your chest. Push gently into the palms, coming up into a cobra. Gentle at first. We're just waking up the body. Without moving your arms, think of dragging them towards your feet as if you're trying to slide your legs forward. Puff up the chest as the ribs pull in. And exhale, get longer as you lower. Press back to tabletop to downward dog. Invitation to pedal out your feet. Shake out your head. Keeping a slight bend in the elbows, very slight if they tend to hyperextend. Rise up to your toe tips. Drop both heels to the left. Bend your left knee, letting your hips bend to the left, the right hip stacking up and over. Return to center and switch direction, pressing strongly through both palms. Letting the head hang heavy. Look forward, walk or hop feet to hands, clasp opposite elbows, and gently let your torso swing side to side, keeping the feet firmly planted. Slow down the torso swing and gently rock forward and back, heel to toe. Moving slow so you don't lose your balance. Then find the place where you feel centered. Take a big breath in. Open mouth, sigh it out. Press into your heels, stand up, releasing your arms high to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms stretch up. Gentle lift of the chest. Exhale, flat back to fold forward. Knees can bend or stay straight. Inhale, heart lifts. Keep the chest lifted, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, down dog. Feet going at least hip distance apart, so your heels would be underneath your sits bones. Heart lengthened, imagining you're a tent. The hips are the peak, and your arms and legs are stretching out to the sides, pushing away from each other. Good. Lift your right leg high to the sky, bend your right knee. Let the right hip stack on top of the left. Take some ankle circles. You can add a twist into the chest, into the spine, or keep the chest looking down. Take a few knee circles. And drop right knee forward to chest, top of a push-up. Lift the hips, up and back, three-legged dog. Right knee to chest. Push the floor away, but reach the heart forward. Three-legged dog, up and back. Breathe in. Step forward. This time, hold it. Step through. Drop the back knee down. Rise up to a low lunge. Hands can go high to the sky. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Deep bend into the front knee. Lift your ribs up and away from your pelvis. Hands move through your heart. Twist towards your right. And you could stay right here, keeping this lifted twist, or go ahead and hook the left elbow outside your knee. That's your choice completely. Even if you're hooking, lift your torso up and away from the front thigh. Squeeze your legs together. Feel the twist in the mid-back rather than the hips. Inhale, return back to low lunge. Exhale to plant your hands. Listen closely. Lift your back knee and step your back foot in to plant your back foot flat to the ground. Forward fold over your front leg. 5 breaths. 4. Drawing the right hip back. 3. Really planting your back foot down strongly into the floor. 1 more breath. Bend into your front knee. Step your back foot forward. Feet together, knees together. Chair pose. Sink the hips low. Lift up through your torso. Biceps by ears. Stay here or add on. Interlacing hands at your lower back. Stretch the knuckles away as your heart lifts. And exhale, round your back like cat. Forehead towards knees. Hollow the abdomen. Shift the weight into your heels for 3. Breathing 2. 1. Straighten your legs. Reach your hands high to the sky. Stand up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands go high. Exhale, flat back to fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, keep the chest lifted, step back plank pose. Drop knees, chest, and chin. Slide forward and through onto your belly. Lift up to that baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale to lower. Hollow abdomen. Press through table or plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts high to the sky. Breathe in as you bend the knee. Take some ankle circles. Some knee circles. Drop left knee to your face. Plank pose. Lift the hips. Inhale up and back. 3-legged. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale, hold it. Step through. Drop your back knee. Low lunge. Hands can always stay on the floor or reach up. Feel your tailbone getting heavy. The crown of your head lifting up. Hands draw through your chest. Twist towards your left. This might be where you stay. It's a wonderful place. Or hook the right elbow, pushing elbow into your leg to lift the heart. Dropping that left hip down and back. Strong exhales. Feel your exhales lengthen your spine. Inhale, return to low lunge. Exhale, hands plant. Back foot steps flat. Both legs press towards straight. It's okay if the front knee has a little bend in it. Just see if you can get that back heel to the ground. So you might need to bring that back foot a little closer. Head hangs heavy. That left hip now is really drawing back. Shoulders melt away from ears. We've got 4 more breaths. 3, 2, deep inhale. Open mouth exhale. Bend into your front knee. Step your back foot forward. Feet together, ankles together. Sink low to rise up. Nice. So bring your hands to your heart. Shift the shins back. Sinking the hips back. Lifting the heart. Inhale, stand up. Hands go high. Side bend towards your right. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Press your ankles apart from one another without moving them. Inhale, return back to center. Exhale, up and over the opposite direction. Press down strongly through your heels. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, flat back to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend knees, plant palms, step or hop to plank pose. Heart reaching forward, drop the knees, the chest, the chin, slide forward to your belly. Inhale up for baby cobra or full cobra. Stay or find upward facing dog, hovering the legs completely off the floor, tops of the feet only thing on the ground. Exhale to down dog. Big breaths in and out. Right foot steps forward between thumbs. Drop your back knee. Bring your right hand to your right knee. Stay there or reach the right hand all the way back. Bend your back knee and draw your foot towards your hips. Nice. If you don't feel anything, give a little tuck of your tailbone. Really lift the chest. Drawing that back heel in as close as is comfortable. Opening up the quad. Release that back foot. Fingertips down. Lift your back knee. Take a big step forward. Feet come together. Lift your chest, halfway lift with a flat back. Rise to standing. Center the weight onto your right foot. Bend, grab your hips and bend your left knee. Reach your left hand back, grab the foot and draw it towards your hips. So similar to what we just did on the ground at a lunge. Lift through the abdomen. Feel free to use wall support if you need it. You can even reach both hands back if that feels comfortable. Really lengthening the spine, pulling the ribs in. Release that left foot to warrior two. Step it way back behind you. Spin the heel down. Arms open to a T-like shape. Checking front knee is over the ankle. Back foot turns in just slightly, so it's truly a parallel. Settle your breath. Good. Turn palms to the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbows to your sides. Engage the muscles of your upper back. Squeeze. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it in like you're pulling some really heavy bands. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, extend. Back hand to back hip. Reach up and over in your warrior two. Keep the deep bend in your front knee. Lift the left ribs up towards the sky. Return to warrior two. We're still here. Yay. Big breath in. Good. Straighten your front leg. We're building some heat with those holds. Walk your back foot a little bit closer, slide your hips back, and drop your right hand down for triangle pose. Press your feet down like you're stomping onto a gas pedal with the ball of your foot. Reach tall through your top hand. Try to lengthen the right ribs. Doesn't matter how low that bottom hand gets. We're looking to create sensation in the outer left hip. So do what you need to feel that there. Inhale, rise all the way up. Grab your hips. Adjust your back foot. So the back foot's going to step to the left a couple inches as you square your pelvis and your torso forward. Back foot flat. Hands can stay at hips, interlace behind you, or palms pressed together between shoulder blades. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale, you're folding over your front leg just like we did earlier after that low lunge. Press your heels strongly into the ground. Strengthen your legs like you could hug the bones with all your muscles. Release your hands to the floor. Step onto the front foot. Lift your back leg up for standing splits. Now stay here or add on by bending the left knee, reaching the right hand up to grab the left foot, and pointing the left kneecap up towards the sky. So now you're getting a little bit of a quad stretch, a little bit of a hamstring stretch, and definitely a balance challenge. So if you feel like you're going to fall on your head, keep both hands down. That's more important than a stretch. Release your back foot. Step it forward, both feet together. Sink low chair pose. Hands to heart. Inner thighs squeezing in, ankles pressing outward, but no movement in the legs. Sink your hips low. This time, release fingers down just outside your pinky toes. Really reach the chest forward. For strength here, we're holding for 5. Knees move back. 4, 3, really lengthen the heart forward. 2, 1. Stand up. Press through your heels. Reach the hands high. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, flat back to fold. Inhale, halfway. Plant hands, step or hop, low push up, heart reaching forward. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot steps forward between thumbs. Drop the back knee. Left hand goes to the left knee or twisting towards that front leg. Stay there or reach the left hand up and back. Grab the foot. Draw the foot towards your hip. Chest is broad here. Roll both shoulders open. Release your back foot. Plant both hands, look forward, big step forward. Flat back, slowly rise to standing. Hands to hips, ground your left foot down. Bending right knee, right hand comes to right foot, taking that quad stretch on the other side. Good. If you're having trouble balancing, gaze at something not moving. Use stronger exhales. And try to stand as tall as you can. That'll help engage your core a bit more. Release your back foot, warrior 2. Take as many steps as you need to step way back. Arms windmill open. Settle with your breath, lining up front heel to the middle arch of your back foot. Soft toes. Notice where you can soften, perhaps your jaw, or your forehead, or your eyebrows. And palm turn to the sky. 3 times we'll squeeze in. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale, elbows to the sides. Inhale, extend. Exhale in. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your arms extended this time, but keep the strength in your upper back. Front palm turns up, back hand to back hip, side bend, up and behind you. Right ribs push towards the sky, so lifting your ribs away from your pelvis. This is about creating space. Return back to center, warrior two, and we get to hold. Notice if your brain goes to whining or complaining. No, you can always choose to rest as an alternative to that more negative chatter. You could also choose to replace it with something like, I am strong. Straighten your front leg. Great news, right? Walk your back foot slightly closer. Triangle pose. Hips slide back. Drop it down. Press your feet into the floor as you reach your top arm high. Stretch in every direction you can. Forward and back, side to side. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands come to hips. Adjusting the back foot, toes will turn in and step closer. So your back foot is flat. Everything faces forward. Choose the hand position you'd like. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale to fold. Bring weight into that back foot. See if you can let your head hang, keeping tension out of the neck. Release your hands down to the ground. Take a big step onto the left leg for standing splits. Your right leg will lift up a little or a lot. That's totally your body's preference. Shifting the weight into your left heel. Add on if you'd like by bending the right knee, reaching the left hand up, and you'll grab the right foot. The right knee is going to point up towards the sky. Steady your breath. If you have the foot, go ahead and release. Step feet together at the front of your mat. Bend both knees, lift your chest, fingertips to the ground outside your pinky toes. Good, hovering your ribs just above your thighs, really drop the hips low. We're gonna do 10 squats, the heels press down, stand up and lower. Up and lower, good. Keeping the knees back. It's okay if the chest falls. It's okay if the torso comes parallel to the ground. Think of those inner thighs squeezing together and the ankles pushing apart. I lied, we're not necessarily doing 10. We're just squatting. Just go for it. We gotta get those legs warmed up. At the top, give it a little butt squeeze. Lift of the pubic bone. The heels pushing down are what propel you up to standing. Good. 5 more. 5, tapping those fingers to the ground. 4, 3, hips go low. 2, and 1. Stand up, reach the hands high, big breath in. Exhale, flat back to fold. Inhale, halfway. Bend knees, plant palms, chest stays lifted, step or hop. Low push-up, your choice. Cobra or up dog. Exhale to down dog. Look forward, half pigeon, right knee comes forward. Set it down behind the right palm. Your right foot can totally be close to your groin. Left knee is going to slide back. Come up to fingertips. If you feel any discomfort in your lower back, then please forward fold. Squeeze your legs together so much that you've got a little tuck under the tailbone and your pelvis starts to lift away from the floor. If this feels comfortable, you could stay, or you could bring your hands up. You can even reach them towards the sky if you'd like. The right hip is drawing back, the left hip is drawing down and forward. No pain, discomfort, or tension should be in the low back. Good, couple more breaths. Release your hands back to the ground. Sink your right hip low. Sit onto your right hip, turn to face the left, side bend up and over, right hand reaching towards your left foot. Heart turning towards the sky. Activate your legs, push that right knee down towards the floor, kick through your left leg. Inhale, sit up, bring your right hand behind you. Sweep your left arm across your chest, lift your hips, rise onto your right shin and your left foot. Unwind, sink your hips back down towards the floor. You're going to bring your hands towards your left leg, plant them. And here comes the tricky part. This is a little bit of an ab exercise. You bring your hands outside your left leg. You're going to bring your weight into your hands and your right foot and see if you can kick your left leg up and back behind you. Oh my goodness. And come into a runner's lunge, facing now the back of your mat. And that was just like, what? Then just come into a runner's lunge, facing the back of your mat however you can. Good, just moving in this runner's lunge, forward and back, forward and back. Good, next time you shift forward, bring the left knee forward behind the right foot, sit down on both sits bones. Feel free to extend the left leg or keep it bent in. Inhale, the hands go high. Exhale, we're twisting towards the right. Back hand comes close behind you to push your lower back up and forward. Lean your chest back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bigger breath in. Deeper breath out. Look forward towards the back of your mat. Unwind. Now you're going to bring your hands behind you to your left. I know we're getting crazy today, right? And you're going to flip on over to downward dog. What? Now you'll be facing the front of your mat. All right, good news is we've got to do that all on the left side. So do your best. It does not need to look perfect. Starts with half pigeon. Left knee is going to come forward. Drop your right knee down. Rise up on the fingertips. This is where I want you to really activate your legs. The left hip drawing back, the right hip drawing forward. Elevate the hips. Feel free to bring the hands higher, using less of your arm strength, more of your leg strength, keeping the tension out of your lower back. In fact, just keeping the tension out in general. Feel your tailbone rooting downward as the roof of your mouth goes upward. Good. Hands come back down to the floor. Sit onto your left hip. Now we're turning to the right, coming into that seated position. It's like tree pose, but you're seated. Side bend up and over towards the right leg. Press your legs down towards the floor. Belly turns towards the sky. Sit up. Bring your left hand behind your back. Sweep your right arm across your chest. Lift your hips. We've got left shin on the ground, right foot on the ground, and you're in a little bit of a back bend. Good. Take another big breath in here. You're going to sit down onto your hips. Bring your arms to your right. This is where that little challenge is. You're going to bring your left foot down so it's planted. Your left knee is lifted. You're going to step onto hands and that left foot and see if you can kick your right leg through and step back to a runner's lunge. And then move forward and back a little bit. So it's really nice to have this Tada rug. It's so big. My yoga mat is triple sized. The next time you shift forward, back knee comes in and you're going to sit down onto both sits bones. That bottom leg can extend out straight or stay tucked in. Inhale to lift your chest. You could always stay right here or twist towards your left. It's a Friday for me, so we're doing a really funky Friday flow. Left and rights and all arounds. Yoga for the brain, the body. And practicing letting go of self-criticism if it's not perfect. Unwind, look forward. You're going to twist your arms all the way around to the right. Plant them behind you and unwind to your downward dog. Full breath in and out. And look forward, walk or hop to your shins. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing forward or to the side. Roll your shoulders back. So your shoulder blades are going to push up into your chest. Then lift up through your hips. Now try to lift the pubic bone higher than your hip bones. Lift the chest bone as well. Slowly release your hips down. If your knees really spread out wide, see if you can bring them back together. And then go ahead again, press the feet down, lift the pubic bone, hollow the belly, broaden the chest. Try to point your tailbone to your kneecaps. Lower the hips back down. Shift forward, plant your hands, roll into a standing forward fold. Tuck your tailbone, and you'll make your way to standing. Good. Center the weight. I'm going to turn face you so you can see a bit better. Center the weight onto your right leg. Bring your left knee up to your chest. Arms come out for support. We're going for eagle. Cross your leg up and over. Use your toes for balance support. You can take away the balance support by hovering or tucking that foot behind you. Shift back into the standing heel and bring your left arm, the left arm underneath you and the right arm over top. You can grab opposite shoulders, bring palms or backs of hands together. Squeeze everything in towards your center. The inner thighs squeeze together, the arms squeeze together, the chest is lifted. Stand up, release, mountain pose. All right, other side, bend both knees. This time the right leg goes up and over. Balance support, toes like a kickstand, hover it or kick it behind. We've got right leg over, so we're gonna bring right arm under. It's always opposite. Choose your arm variation. See if you can engage to the front of your abdomen a bit more. Might feel a bit like you're tucking the ribs, the front ribs in. Leaning back slightly. There's that Tucson train. Release, mountain pose, stand up, strong, fierce, kind. On the front of your mat, inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, flat back to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend knees, bent palms, step or hop. We'll go into plank pose. Heart reaches forward, lower all the way down to your belly. Stretch your legs back behind you, feeling the full front of your body on the ground. Hands come by shoulders, look forward, inhale to lift the chest. Push through the palms, push the pubic bone down, stretch through the inner thighs and the inner ankles. Exhale to release. Feel free to repeat that or add in this time bending the left forearm across your the front of your chest, bending the right leg in, and reaching the right hand back. So super important here that you're still pressing the pubic bone down. There should be no tension in the lower back. So if you start to feel tension, you need a little bit more lift of the abdomen, maybe a little less stretch of the quad. Release, we'll switch sides. If you're taking that cobra without the quad stretch, then go ahead and just relax for the next couple breaths. If you're quad stretching now, we're grabbing the left leg. Go ahead and release that back leg. We'll push back to child's pose. Big breath into your lower back. Look up, stay there as long as you need, or go ahead and find downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths, feeling your ankles push outward. Feeling your sits bones move down towards your ankles a little bit, so you're not overstretching the hamstrings. Ribs drawing in, heart reaching forward. Step feet together, lift your right leg high to the sky. Kick through your heel, keep the toes and knee pointing down, and squeeze your right butt cheek to help you lift that leg just a little bit higher. Step right foot between your thumbs. Come onto fingertips, back to that runner's lunge. We're preparing for warrior 3. So a couple options here. Option 1, walk your hands further in front of you. Launch off, keeping the front knee bent and the hands on the ground, kicking strong through your back leg. Option 2, you can bring your hands up to hips or to your sides, keeping the bend in that front knee. Option 3, you can press that front leg towards straight. Good. Finding your breath. We're going to drop both hands back down to the ground again. Left hand is going to plant down underneath left shoulder. Right hand's going to grab right hip. Really draw the right hip back and fire up the leg that's in the air. This is a great place to stay. Could also add in a little bit more of a twist, reaching your right hand high to the sky, lifting your back leg, drawing the ribs in, reaching the heart forward. One more breath. And then exhale, fold forward, both feet come down. Hoo-wee. Good. Lift your heart, plant your hands, step or flow. We'll meet in downward dog. So choose how you want to get there today. Left leg lifts to the sky, toes and knee point down. Try to really lengthen through your back kneecap, or the back of that knee. And step foot between thumbs. Rise to fingertips. And remember, you've got options. They might be different on both sides. Fingers walk forward, launch off, keep the front knee bent to start. Good. And then maybe the hands come to hips or to your sides. Maybe the front leg straightens. This is a very uneven surface I'm on. Okay. Breathing steadily, trying to drop the right hip low and draw the left hip back. So you've got the hips the same height. Narrow the ribs in as you reach the chest forward, asking your core to help you support this posture. Lengthen through your back leg, reach your heart forward. Both hands are going to come to the ground. Left hand will grab left hip, really draw it back. Stay there or begin to open your torso towards the left. Deepen your exhales. Unwind, bring both hands down, step feet together. Step them wider this time and let your torso hang forward. If it feels good, rock forward and back on your legs. Good. Turn your toes out, bend your knees, bring your forearms up to your inner thighs. You're coming into a squat with your heels down. Use your arms to push your knees outward. And imagine if you had a tail, you'd be tucking it forward between your legs. Right, you could stay right here enjoying this lower back opening, the hip opening, or step your feet a little bit closer together, coming fully more into a yogi squat. And this is a time that you could play with a crow pose. Planting hands down, fingers pointing forward, you're going to roll your shoulders up and back, squeeze your elbows in, shift forward. Lift up your knees to put them on the backs of your elbows, the backs of your triceps. And now your shoulders are going to broaden. They really need to stretch apart, but do that without collapsing in the chest. So even as the shoulders stretch open, really try to lengthen your body. Maybe the toes stay down. Maybe one toe lifts, and it comes more from bending the knees than from lifting your hips. Elbows squeeze towards one another. Nice. Drop back down if you were up. Return to your yogi squat. Forward fold. Step your right leg way back behind you and walk your hands to the right, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel. The feet might be slightly wider to the sides than your toes. And again, you can rock lightly forward and back, helping you find where is center between the ball and the heel. Hands under shoulders, lift your chest up. You're going to bend your right knee deeply. On the screen, it's going to look like I'm bending the left, but I'm bending the right. You can stay here or turn your left toes to the sky and sink your hips low. Nice. If it feels good, you can even bind your hands around the right leg. Using hands or not, we're going to transition back through center, up and over to the other side. So again, start up high. You've got forearm on the thigh, the right foot is flat, or you can sink hips lower and point the right toes up to the ceiling. This shouldn't feel uncomfortable on the knees whatsoever. Again, you can add in that bind here if you'd like. Release, return to center into that wide-legged forward fold. Hands under shoulders, lift your chest, breathe in. Walk your hands to the front of your mat, step back, flow or go straight to downward dog. Look forward, walk or hop feet between the hands and have a seat on your sits bones. You're going to extend your legs out in front of you. I like to place something between my feet here. In fact, I'm going to place a hand weight between my feet. You can place nothing between them. You could place a pillow between them. If you have a yoga block, that would be something you could place. It's really not necessary. It's just if you want. I like to do it because it helps me engage my inner thighs. So inner thighs roll down, outer hips roll out. You're going to point through your toes, reach your arms forward, tuck at your tailbone. So we're starting the initiation from the sacrum, like someone's pulling the string back. And you're going to slide or roll back vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to kick your feet away from you. And if you have something between your legs or your feet, squeeze inward. You're going to roll all the way down. Then you're going to flex your feet and roll all the way back up. We're going to do this a few more times. So toes point, sacrum initiates. Stretch your legs longer away from you. Flex the feet. Just slowly rise. Back up. Couple more. Adding in your breath. Good. Pointing. And flexing. Last one. Going all the way back up to seated. Good. And scoot your hips so they're in the middle of your mat. And you're going to come to lie down. Bring your feet flat on the floor and your arms along your sides. Bend your knees. We're setting up for a bridge pose. Arms along sides, push into your feet and lift your pubic bone, push your lower back into the ground. Feel that feeling. Release back to neutral. All right, lower back pushes into the floor, tailbone lifts up, and release back to neutral. Go ahead and lift all the way up now, starting with that initiation. When you get there, walk shoulders underneath you away from ears. Now notice here how I'm like really sticking my belly up and I'm kind of letting my hips sink down. I want you to switch that. So we're going to think belly down, hips up. And you're actually trying to lift the pubic bone much higher. I'm not looking for a big round in your back. I'm looking for the feet pressing down, the knee is stretching away from you. The lower back is actually lengthening here. We're looking for activation in the glutes and in the hamstrings. So if you look at your hips, make sure the pubic bone is lifted higher than those two sits bones. And you can even bring your hand to your lower back and encourage the tailbone to lengthen forward out past those knees, which are reaching away from you, like someone's pulling your knees. Good. Starting with your chest bone, roll down, making an imprint of your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, onto the floor. I'm going to do 2 more like that. Rolling up, getting longer through your torso. Kick the feet down into the floor and roll it down. This would be another good place to put a pillow or a yoga block between your knees or your thighs. All right, roll it back up. Collarbones stay long as you roll it back down. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug, rock side to side across your lower back. Your glutes, your butt cheeks, your hamstrings should have felt like they just got work. Okay, you're gonna roll yourself forward and back, all the way up to seated. Swing your legs around behind you and have a seat on your belly. Good, stretch the legs back one at a time. Forehead comes to the ground. You're welcome to have hands by shoulders and take those baby cobras or full cobras that we took earlier. Or this time, bring your hands along your sides. We'll do palms facing the floor and lift your shoulder blades off the ground so the chest is really open. Stretch your legs back and then inhale, look forward, lift the head, lift the heart. Option to lift the arms, option to lift the legs. Now try to stretch your knees and your heart away from one another, getting longer rather than bendier. We're looking for activation of the backs of the legs, activation of those upper back muscles, and a lengthening of your spine. Try to lift your chest higher than your legs. Slowly release down. Repeat that, or a cobra, or this time bring your arms in front of you, palms face one another, pinkies on the ground. Inhale to look forward. Press your pinkies down and drag them towards you to lift up your chest. The gnats have suddenly gotten bad out here. You can stay right here, really pushing the pubic bone down, stretching your legs back, or add on by lifting the legs, or add on further by lifting the arms as well. Okay. Full breath, never holding your breath, unless it's part of your breath practice, or unless you like that. One more inhale. And exhale, lower down. And we're going to combine that motion that we just did with cobra. So inhale, lift up onto your palms, coming into a cobra. And you can stay right here. And we're going to do a little catch and release. So from this cobra, you're going to let go of your hands, swing forward, and rise back up. And on that swing forward, it's like the locust that we just did. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. A couple more. Staying strong in your legs. Last one. And lower down. Good. If you feel any tension in your lower back, go ahead and shift back to child's pose. Ideally, your lower back doesn't feel bothered at all right now. Should feel like your upper back was engaging and your legs were engaging. If your lower back's feeling okay, then you can add in one more thing here. If you're in child's pose, just enjoy breathing back there. If you're on your belly, go ahead, bend both knees. Reach back, grab the tops of your feet. Hug your inner thighs together so they're hip distance apart. Look forward. With an inhale, lift the chest, kick the legs back. Pubic bone pressing down. Knees lifting. Chest lifting higher. Stretch the heart open. Breathe fully. And release down. You can make a pillow out of your hands, resting your forehead on it. And then everyone in child's pose, if you're already there, just enjoy being there a bit longer. All right, shift up, find tabletop. You're gonna swing your legs forward, have a seat on your sits bones. And just like we did earlier, you're gonna stretch your legs out, point through your toes, hands go forward, start with the pubic bone, or I'm sorry, the sacrum, and roll all the way back to your backs. Nice. Bend your knees, bring the feet to the ground. Take your feet wide apart and let your knees fall in together. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Check into your body. Would it like to rest? Then enjoy this pose and breathe. If it's craving one more back bend for this practice today, then you're welcome to take another bridge, or this time a wheel. Bringing feet down, knees to the sky. For bridge, hands along your sides. We did it before. Or for wheel, bringing hands along your ears. If you've never done wheel before, I recommend going to a in-person class to learn how to do it. So you can have hands-on instruction from a teacher. If it's already in your practice, then now would be the time to explore this shape, lifting up when you're ready. So just remember that in these back bends, we want like 50% of the strength in our legs. So the legs are really activating. You're kicking the heels down. The pubic bone is lifting. You're stretching the knees and the chest in opposite direction. Press the inner edges of your feet down. Come down as you're ready. And return to that position of feet wide and letting your knees fall into one another. Deep breath in and out. All right, arms come along your sides. Feet come hip distance apart, knees pointing upward. Reach your hands to the ceiling, palms face one another. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, lift the knees so they stack above hips and squeeze your legs together. Push your lower back down towards the floor and feel how this helps drop your belly low. Inhale. Exhale, bow up through the chest, just like you're bowing to a person. And as you exhale, you're going to let your belly drop even a little bit deeper, squeezing your legs together strongly. Chest is broad. We're simply holding. This is really good if you tend to have lower back pain, that lower back pushing down into the ground, the legs squeezing together. And as you exhale, feel the belly going downward rather than puffing upward. for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, lifting up, 3, 2, 1, roll it down. Great. We're going to do a little bit more core. So I say that as like good news. Just notice how you take it. Okay, back to where we just were. Hands up, breathe in. Exhale, lift up. Feel free to stay in this shape or inhale, extend the legs out. Exhale, bend them back in. As you bend them in, see how close you can bring them into the chest. Inhaling, exhaling. Yeah. Sinking the belly with your exhales. Curl up the upper body a little bit higher. One more. Lower down. You survived. Right. Take a breath in and out. Now you're welcome to rest or go ahead and return to that position. Hands go up, legs go together. Breathe in and exhale, lift up. Awesome. You can hold. You can repeat the one we just did, or this time straighten your legs. Inhale to lower. Exhale, they bring back in, staying straight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Good. Drop the shoulders low. No tension in the neck. No tension in the jaw. Couple more. One more. Drop the legs down. Lower your torso. I like resting between these. I hope you enjoy it too. All right, last core exercise for the day, I promise. Well, in reality, every yoga pose should be a core exercise, but these are targeting specifically the core. So, all right, walk your feet so your heels are close to your hips, knees point to the sky. Legs are going to stay down this time. Hands reach up, breathe in. Exhale, curl up just the upper body. Imagine like you're holding a giant beach ball. It's delicate. You're holding it carefully. Your shoulders are down. Your chest is broad. Your abdomen is sinking down towards your lower back. You're going to twist towards your right, back to center, and towards your left. And you're just going to keep twisting that delicate big ball side to side. Now it's a twist rather than a side bend, so it's as if you're twisting your ribs around your spine. Notice if you tend to side bend it, and instead imagine your spine is a pole that can't move and your ribs can only turn around it. This will help you get a bit more into your side obliques as well. All right, we're going to take one more each direction. To the right, to the last one, come back in, and to the left. Back to center, and lower down. I should just say collapse down after that one. Stretch your legs out, reach your arms overhead, give a little arch of your back. Roll over onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Prop yourself up on your elbows. Push the pubic bone down. Reach the heart forward. Little stretch for your abdomen. Lower the torso. Roll back over onto your back. Grab onto your shins and begin to roll forward and back as many times as feels comfortable. Eventually we'll meet in a seated position. When you arrive in seated, scoot your hips back onto your mats. Let your legs stretch out in front of you. Again, we'll roll the inner thighs down. Bend your knees so that you can rest your ribs on the front of your thighs and put some super glue there. So they're not going to become disconnected because super glue is really strong. You're going to use your hands, grab the outer edges of your flexed feet. Keep that super glue, ribs to thighs, and maybe your feet walk further out, maybe not, but just keep the ribs and legs connected. Stretch through the inner ankles. When you feel like you've gone to your max, let your head hang heavy. Heart reaches forward, shoulders draw back. Stay active in your legs so the feet are flexed and you're actively kicking the heels away from you. You're actively drawing the toes back. You're actively reaching the heart forward. It might feel a little bit like a baby cobra in your chest. Maybe after you're there for a little while, the heels can even walk a little bit further out. Get your exhales a little bit longer. Look forward, lift your chest, and slowly rise all the way up to a seated position. Right, you're gonna bend your legs in, find your way to down dog any way that you need to get there. Feet hip distance apart, focus on the ankles pushing outward, and the inner thighs squeezing inward. Bring your right knee forward to half pigeon again. This time we get to stay a bit longer. You can always do this pose laying on your back as well. So left knee forward, right knee forward, left leg back. You can stay upright like we did earlier as variation, or come down to your palms or down to your forearms, or maybe even rest your chest towards the floor. Looking for a sensation in your outer right hip, your outer right thigh, maybe even slightly in the front of your left leg. Nothing should feel painful or pinchy. Sometimes I get a better stretch actually from staying upright, so you could always choose to take that instead. You're welcome to stay right here in this half pigeon, or if you'd like to come up and play with a mermaid, this would be a great time to rise up with your torso, bend your back knee, reach your left hand back, and draw the foot in either with your hand or your elbow. Now the left hip is still dropping down and forward. The right hip is still reaching back, and you're looking for equal weight between both hips. You can even sit upright slightly to help create that equalness in the balance. Release the back leg if you're taking that variation today. If you're forward folded, go ahead and rise back up to your palms, and we'll all step back, downward dog. Other side, left knee draws forward, right leg reaches back. Stay or fold a little or a lot. You might notice the stretch differently on one side to the other. We tend to have imbalances in our body. That's very normal. What's great is if we can become aware of those imbalances and work to balance them. And again, you can stay down, or if you want to take mermaid today, I like to tuck my back toes under to really stretch my knee back before I take it. Only take this quad stretch if you need it, if it feels comfortable. Releasing that back quad. If you're forward folded, come back up to your palms. We'll tuck the back toes under, step back to downward dog. Walk your feet forward. Have a seat on your sits bones. Extend your legs in front of you. Option one, you're bending the right foot in, so the bottom of the foot's down and the knee is to the sky. Option two, you're letting that knee fall outward, kind of like tree pose, with the inner foot pushing against the inner left leg. You choose. On an inhale, hands come behind you to help sit up tall. This is a great place to stay. Or add on, reaching the hands forward, forward folding over your front leg. The hands can keep reaching forward, they can reach back. Take what's comfortable for your body. Softening your jaw. Look forward, heart lifts. Slowly rise all the way up. Switch sides. Choose your leg variation. It's okay if it needs to be different on this side for any reason. Lengthen and fold a little or a lot, or maybe not at all. Let your breath deepen. Lift your face, lift your chest, rise up. Okay, and then turn to the side. You're going to take your legs wide apart. Hands come behind you. Pointer flex the feet. Inhale to lift through the chest. You could stay right there. It's a wonderful place to be. Or hands come in front. Maybe you come to palms, forearms, or lower, depending on your body. We'll take 10 breaths. Stay active in your legs. Whatever part of your leg is touching the floor, push it downward. Imagine like someone's pulling your ankles away from you. About 5 more breaths. 2 more big breaths. Pushing the legs down, reaching the heart forward. 1 more inhale. Inhale to lift the chest and slowly rise all the way up. Good. Roll out your ankles. Bend your legs back in. Turn to face the front of your mat. You're going to roll back down onto your back. And find a happy baby. So knees come into your chest. You're going to reach up, grab your ankles, grab the outer edges of your feet. Point the soles of your feet to the sky. Tailbone will reach down towards the floor. If it feels nice, rock side to side. You can also press one or both legs towards straight. And this is a great place to stay, letting the feet be above the heart, letting some circulation move the other direction with gravity this time. This is also a time for your inversion. So if happy baby is not what you want to take, this would be your time to get up and do a headstand or a handstand or a forearm stand if that's in your practice already, or to take a shoulder stand or legs up the wall. I'm going to cue you through shoulder stand. If you're doing any of those other options, please just kind of move at your own pace until we go to the next pose. In shoulder stand, arms come along your sides. We'll start by kicking the toes over the crown of the head and bringing your hands to your lower back, walking your elbows towards one another and your shoulders away from your ears. Let your hips fall back into your hands and your toes reach behind your head, your legs dropping towards your chest. This is a nice start variation for shoulder stand. If you'd like to add on, go ahead and stretch your legs up towards the sky, walking your hands towards your shoulders, your elbows towards one another. This is not called a neck stand, thank goodness. This is a shoulder stand. So you've got the weight on your elbows, the weight on your shoulders, the chest is open and broad. There's space between your neck and the floor. Someone could slide like 2 fingers underneath. You're welcome to stay up there, or you can play with bringing your feet down behind your head and flexing your feet, pushing your toes into the floor to help lift your hips. Really broadening your lower back. Can also feel nice to bend your knees by your ears. Eventually making your way back down onto your back. Letting your spine just be flat for a moment. And draw your knees into your chest. Bring your arms out to a T or a cactus shape, depending on how much room you have. And drop, actually bring your feet back to the ground and scoot your hips to the left about 6 inches. Bring your knees back into your chest and drop your knees to the right. And turn your gaze to look left or keep it gazing straight up to the sky. Really breathe into your back. Use your inhales to stretch the muscles of your back side to side, feeling your ribs widen. Breathe into your upper back just as much as you're breathing into your chest. You're going to take 10 more breaths here. 10, 9, really breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more deep breath in and out. Engage your belly, roll it towards the left. So come back to center. Feet come down, scoot your hips through center and about 6 inches off to the right. Then draw your knees back into your chest. Let your knees drop to the left. As your knees drop to the left, feel your belly twisting to the right. Choose where you want your head. Soften your jaw. Soften the space around your eyes. Soften your throat. And take 10 more breaths. Big breath. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Belly draws to the right as you roll back onto your back. Is there any other last postures you need to feel complete? This is your time to take them. This is also your time for Shavasana. I've left you 5 minutes at the end of this practice. Feel free to take longer. Get comfy, maybe a pillow underneath the backs of your knees, your arms wherever you'd like. Eyes can be open or closed. Attention wherever it needs to be, just breathing normally, no breath control. I encourage you to rest here for at least 5 more minutes, if not longer. And so you have no interruption of me and your timing. I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for joining me in this practice tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you took this class, please leave a comment. Let me know how you liked it. Have a great day.